We've had customers going to the kitchen before,
really?
So they don't believe us. Yeah, I mean, wow. The audacity of some foreigners, I suppose, but yeah, not Thai people. These are all foreigners usually that come in and think they know.
Did you prove them wrong?
Well, yeah, of course.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to OGs of the Soy. Today I'm very honoured to have Mr. Lee here from Fitgeeks.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for coming on.
It's a pleasure. Thank you for inviting me.
This show is called OGs of the Soy. So we always start with all of our guests, like, how did you get to Thailand / Phuket?
Yeah.
Where did it all begin?
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've been in Thailand now coming up for 10 years. I moved, my first trip to Thailand was 2005 with a bunch of my friends, and then sort of just fell in love, done the Bangkok trip, and then Samui, and we ended up in Koh Chang, and I'd done that for a number of years, being on holiday and bits and bobs. And then 2015, is that right? 2015, yeah. I moved here. I made the decision to move here. I've always run my own businesses, and at the time, the business in the UK that I had, I just come away from that. Had an opportunity, had some money in the bank, and thought, sod it, I'm going to follow my dream and move to Thailand. So I did.
What was the first business here?
So when I got here, not really knowing what to do, and it was around the start of the digital nomad sort of revolution, if you like, when all the digital nomads were turning up and working here, and the co-working spaces were kicking off and everything else. I moved to Koh Chang. I lived in Koh Chang for 4 years. Whilst I was there, I was studying some web design and other bits and bobs at the time, but I'd started getting into Ruby on Rails and nerdy stuff, and designing software programs and stuff. I designed an online telephone system whilst I was here, trying to get a number in Thailand and other countries. It was expensive to do, so I built a whole platform around managing that, and I sold that in COVID, funny enough, just before me and my now wife moved to Phuket. So I've done four years in Koh Chang. I've done 2 years in Bangkok, and the rest of the time I've been here. I come to Phuket a long time ago, bumped into Patong, and then sort of wasn't really that flattered by the whole island. And then
I think we've all bumped into Patong once or twice.
And a friend of mine was staying in Rawai. So we went down to see him, fell in love with the place. It was in COVID as well, so there was no one there. It was just a paradise location. And because of the fitness community, which we hadn't realised was here either, we decided to set up a business around that kind of vibe. It was originally just smoothies, smoothie bowls, acai. We done cold pressed juices, coffee.
You started coming out of COVID, or was it in COVID you started?
So yeah, 2000. We actually opened the shop Sandbox July 1st. Really? Yeah. Was it 2021? Was it 2021? Yeah. We. I don't know why we done that. It was just something to do at the time. It felt right, and it was kind of at a loose end, and it was just. I don't know why we done it, to be honest with you. It was kind of an opportunity to open up a business, just to do in this location, to have a reason to stay here. It's kind of like a hobby, kind of not like a hobby. We used to do protein, we used to do supplements years ago, but we moved away from that and concentrated more on the food and beverage side of things.
So the brand is called Fitgeeks.
Fitgeeks.
Well, how did you come up with that?
My wife and I went through loads of different names, Fitness Nerd and other lame names, and then Fitgeeks. I know it just seemed to work. Because my wife and I are both quite active as well. I'm a bit of a nerd, with day-to-day nerdy things.
You like coding?
Yeah, well, I enjoy coding. I enjoy building things. Yeah, I enjoy putting things together. I enjoy getting into the data of things. But yeah, Fitgeeks came. It was just a whole list of names. It just seemed to work. And even though when we was here, Fitgeeks trying to get some Asians to say the word is obviously hard. It's not the easiest of words to say. Just try and explain Fitgeeks. Have to slow it down or. Explain it in detail, but yeah, Fitgeeks. It seems to work now. Trying to think, but we had logos designed, we had pictures designed. Yeah, and it just seemed to work.
Does geek mean anything in Thai?
I don't think so. Well, I don't know. I've not checked that out.
Chaya? Geek.
Not really.
No, okay, that's okay. That's
good.
could have been awkward.
Could have been terrible.
Yeah. So we launched Sandbox. And it's all kind of just snowballed on from there.
Your kind of concept is around like drawing from that kind of geekiness. You've gone in the science route behind like nutrition, right?
Yeah.
I went down to the store last week, and it's like in your shake there was like 10 different things that like it looks like science. Like
It's we've really rolled out the whole geek side to the business. This wasn't our intention, but obviously just there's everywhere sells smoothies and acai bowls, and they're on every corner in every restaurant or cafe. To try and make ourselves stick out and be different, and it means doing much more work, but then obviously understanding not just macronutrients and calories, but also understanding the nutritional benefits of the food or drinks that the customers are consuming. So when people say things are healthy, everyone beats the word around, but are items actually healthy? Are they pointing in that right direction of nutrition?
And what kind of things would you question? For example, be it another restaurant that says we're healthy, but obviously they're not, compared to if you looked at it from a science perspective.
Yeah.
What kind of things would you question?
Any use of sugar? I mean, adding sugar to recipes. I mean, that's not. We keep well away from that. I mean, it's not really anything that we want to get. There's natural sugars, and then there's the refined sugars that you can have that people put in tea and coffee or whatever, or cereal or whatever it might be. We keep well away from those. Our whole approach to it is clean. Clean as far as the food that we're using, the food types that we're using, the cooking methods that we use. Any other ingredients, it has to be natural. They have to be.
When you've gone down to the point of like what oil you fry with,
Yep.
and there's.
And we're in Thailand, obviously, and Thailand food is absolutely delicious. Love it. There's not many people on earth that don't enjoy Thai food, but you don't. Depending on where you're eating at, you don't always know exactly what you're going to get, what they're putting into it. Some oils are cheaper than others. Like they're not. I don't think all restaurants are going to be using olive oil or coconut oil or avocado oil or things like that to use within the dishes, which are the oils that we tend to lean more towards. Canola, seed oils, anything like that, we tend to just stay away from those like the plague. That was a learning curve for us, though. I mean, making sure that we're ticking all the boxes. We've had people coming into the shop questioning, going into the kitchen. We've had customers going to the kitchen before,
Really?
so they don't believe us. Yeah, I mean,
Wow.
the audacity of some foreigners, I suppose. But yeah, not Thai people. These are all foreigners usually that come in and think they know.
Did you prove them wrong?
Well, yeah, of course. Yeah, of course. We like to be totally transparent as well.
Yeah.
I mean,
Can I ask, what did you want to go into the kitchen for?
well, I think because they don't. But some people don't believe I can't always be at the restaurant, so obviously all of our staff are Thai. When somebody comes and he thinks they know it all, and then they want to come in and question it, then they'll. Yeah, I mean, Jim, people come in and turn the music down. I mean, it's the audacity of some people, but yeah, that happens.
Wow, you experience everything with a business, right?
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, we've just concentrated, keeping ourselves, keeping our integrity, making sure that we're what we're labelling, what we're putting on our food, how we're selling it, what ingredients we are sourcing, how we're putting it together. We don't. When we built the second phase, the first phase of Fitgeeks was the smoothie bowls, acai, juice, cold pressed juice, coffee. The second phase was more the actual meals, the meal planning side of it. Your lunch and dinner type meals and snacks around that. We now call them pre-training snacks because obviously we're aiming at the fitness market. And phase 2 came about actually because now we do the whole meal prepping, the whole meal planning side of it as well. It came about from a bodybuilder chap that actually used to eat in our shop. He wanted prep. He wanted prep done, and he was a bodybuilder, so it's kind of just rice and chicken. It was the easiest prep to do, and we'd done it for him, and we'd done it for 30 days. It seemed to go really well. He was happy. The staff seemed to be able to do what we need them to do, and so we sort of just built on from there. It's like I was saying to you the other day, when we learned that when you see menus and recipes, and those recipes that you're seeing have the macros and calories associated with them, usually most of those meals have been created and then the macros and calories have been calculated after the meal has been designed, if you like. Because of the way that we were setting things up for ourselves, we came about it the other way round. So rather than actually just saying there's a meal, there's, eat it, tastes really good, and by the way, there's your macros and calories, we come at it from another angle, and actually understanding what if it's a customer, understanding what their macros and calorie requirements would be for a day, and then building a plan around that, and then building a bespoke plan around that. So it'd mean that having to use the numbers, the data, to then create the foods, and obviously doing that, you're running a risk of things tasting good and more people getting bored or whatever it might be. So that's why we've then gone on to launch a whole bunch of sauces that people can rotate as part of their meal plan, so to keep things interesting and add some variety. So
I was very lucky you messaged me on the weekend with a lot of information about nutrition and, according to my height, weight, size, shape. I mean, I think I definitely need some help with the nutrition for sure. Mm-hmm. But
happy to help you, Jim.
Yeah, appreciate the help. But I was quite I wasn't shocked, but I've been using that MyFitnessPal.
Yep.
MyFitness app, and that calculated like my MMR. If you eat this amount of calories, you just stay the same, and it was like 2,900.
Yep.
And like your one was more, it was less than that.
Of course, because if you're that's maintenance. So when you're, should I quickly explain how it works?
Calorie deficit.
Well, we use it's called TD, a TD calculator. We've got one on our website. TDEE, Total Daily Energy Expenditure. This is a calculator that is built up of different formulas over the years for calculating macronutrients and calories based on your body type, etc. So we use this calculator, which takes your age, your height, your current weight, your activity levels, and that squirts out a number. What it would do, first of all, is provide you with a maintenance level. Maintenance is to stay exactly as you are based on the amount of activity that you're doing is going to be this number. And then that number, depending on what you want to be doing, if it's putting on more muscle or you're trying to do a balanced diet or whatever it might be, that's going to give you a macronutrient breakdown for your protein, fats and carbs. When you're cutting weight, so when you're losing weight, trying to drop weight, obviously you have to be in a deficit of calories. So where it's coming in at 2009, and I think we was around about 2000, whatever it was, you want to be in a deficit to be able to cut the weight. And then what will happen with the outcome of the data as well for the macronutrients, your carbs, fats, proteins, is that it will balance those up as well. So when we have that information, that data, because we've built this whole model around a data-driven environment, because it takes ages to build meal plans from scratch, we've done it a different way, so that we're able to take the data. We know where you are and what you need, and the data that we've actually got already created. Out of that, we then create a meal plan. Mm-hmm. So it takes into consideration the dietary requirements that might be, people might have. Also, if people are actually on the plan and they want to change anything, it makes it easier for us to be able to adjust meal plans as well, because people like variety.
Yeah.
Somebody will say, oh, I eat anything, and you'll send them it and they'll say, oh, but I don't like asparagus. Okay, well, thanks for not telling me that.
I think the meal plan to me sounds like a great idea. Mm-hmm. And if I was just at home all the time and there was just a fridge full of these boxes I could just heat up and eat, perfect. But like, I feel like if I sign up to a meal plan, I'm kind of regimented in my social life as well, because, you know, you go out and you eat with people.
For sure.
You know, and you have to have that control at the restaurant to like choose the right things on the menu and be like, you know, otherwise you kind of, I mean, that's where I go wrong, to be honest with you. It's healthy at home, but 5 nights a week I'm out, you know, having dinner with people. It's business or it's, you know, social.
It's kind of like our motto: get educated, eat healthy as well. Get educated, eat healthy. You know, I'm a firm believer in moderation with anything. I mean, if you're on really want to cut weight, you really want to drop weight, and you're rigorous enough to be able to just do what you just described, have meals in your fridge, only eat them. You know, don't eat anything else, just have them, or be careful what you're putting in your mouth. It's hard. It is hard. Some people are fine with it. Some of the fighters that we work with, they just shovel the food in. They know they haven't got to think about it. It's part of their training camp or whatever it might be. When you're, you know, an individual that's training, you just want to drop some weight, it's going to be a bit of a shock to move from, you know, a diet of whatever you want to a diet of you can only have this. What we try to promote, and it means having some self-control, of course, but moderation. You know, we generally, what we found with meal plans is that lunch and dinner are the ones that we do more of. Sometimes we'll just do a dinner one, so it'll just be that people, when they get home over evening, they know they're going to be going home to a healthy meal. If it's lunch and dinner, then it's quite a large chunk of their daily calories or whatever it might be, or macronutrients that they're getting out of them 2 meals. We promote in between those, saying, well, look, what do you like to eat? So we have before sat down with customers, understood what they do like eating, trying to build something around food that they do like eating. I mean, I'm not saying that, you know, going to McDonald's and eating that in between your meal plan, actually keeping it as healthy as you can. When you're on a meal plan and you're trying to hit your macros and calories as you should be, calories are one thing where people tend to set the mark. They're trying to stay below a number, you know, and calories can be anything that can relate to the total amount of calories that they're looking to hit each day. When you hit the macronutrients under that, that's what supercharges it. I've done it myself. When I first moved here, I was like 90 odd kilos. I'm 82 now, and I've because of doing the way that we do it and being around the environment that we're in, it's enabled me to understand food better and make better food choices. When I was made this plan for myself, and then I was actually rolling that out and eating the food every single day, I didn't stay 100% on track either. Sometimes I might be a little bit, you know, I'll fancy that or have that, you know, but don't go too crazy. And it still worked. I probably could have got there quicker, but hitting them, I noticed it. I noticed my body felt better. The meals that we have, because our meals are clean, they're big meals. Our meals are like around about 500 grams on average. It's a proper meal size. So you're going to eat that meal, and you're going to feel, okay, that was a big meal, but your body's going to just process it much, 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 much quicker than if you're eating not so healthy food. It's going to enjoy it. And I just noticed myself and people that we work with as well, staying on this type of food, this type of, don't want to call it a diet, because it's not, you're just more aware about what you're eating, what you're putting in your mouth. We eat the same meats, proteins, we eat the same grains and everything else. Wherever we go, it depends on what they're putting into it. It's just that we do that around a more of a wholesome, clean environment.
Awesome. And you mentioned you work with a lot of fighters.
Yep.
I've seen some of them on social media, you know, promoting the Fitgeek branch. Some of the it actually looks quite tasty, the food that they're given. Can you tell us a little bit about some of the fighters you've worked with, and you know how important like nutrition is for them?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we've worked with fighters from most of the gyms really. I mean, we've done some fights from Tiger before, Phuket Fight Club, Powerhouse. We'd worked with them before, Southside, Simbi, Phuket Muay Thai down at Rawai Beach. So we work with fighters that are at the level of, say, one championship. I mean, Alicia was one that we've done, same as yourself, for her comeback fight to, I forget the lady's name now anyway, but we worked with Alicia for 3 months. We worked with a bunch of
for example, someone like Alicia, right, world champion, she obviously has to have a world champion nutrition plan, you know, to be on weight when she needs to be on weight, hydrated as well, right? So was her kind of meal plan like a real strict regimented diet, or was it like more free? How does it work for a world champion?
We've actually the process that we've done with Alicia has been the same process that we do with every fighter that we work with. So we take down the information, that age, height, weight, etc. But with fighters, we're taking into consideration a much more intense training schedule. So when we're working with fighters, what we tend to do once we understand all of that information is that we will focus more of their carbs around their training. So they've got the energy around their training, and then they'll have their meal, their first meal of the day, which will be after their training, which will be more towards the recovery side for it, high protein, etc. And then we'll do the same thing again later on for their afternoon, evening training as well. So depending on what their schedule looks like, we build the meal plan around that. When I say we build the meal plan around that, we just tell them what to eat. So we build the meals they should be eating, and tell them, we label them 1, 2, 3, 4, so it's easy to understand. And they just eat that food around their training schedule. I mean, it's not. This used to be a really, really, really painful process for us, but it's not so much anymore because of, obviously we've been through the mill a few times with I think 80 plus fighters we've done now, of all different levels. But I mean, we've done one championship, we've done PFL, we've done I forget we've done Bruno at Phuket Fight Club. I forget which one.
PFL.
Was it PFL? There you go. So we've done.
Do you get any strange requests from any of these fighters saying like, "I just want to eat chicken breast and that's it"?
No, not really. Not so much. We haven't really. The bodybuilders are the ones that they're just the chicken, rice, broccoli bros. So they're just keep it
easy
simple.
Customers.
Easy customers. But it's and they always come with they always give you the macros. So that's what I want.
Oh, wow.
And then we'd say, okay, fine. And we just build them a plan around that. Because it's just a matter of just going, there's your plan. Simple. Yeah, simple.
Awesome. Well, I mean, helping fighters with their nutrition is a huge benefit. I mean, we've worked with a lot of fighters as well, and you know, nutrition to them is always firstly a cost.
Yeah.
You know, if you want to eat healthy in this day and age, unfortunately, it does cost money. Even to eat badly, it costs money. But you know, the world has got very cheap things at 7-Eleven. They've got a lot of sugar in them.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
Where's the cheap healthy stuff? You know, if you want to be a fighter and and tune your body to become a professional athlete, you have to have the right nutrition.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? And not that I'm anyone to talk about nutrition, but it's something that I see that is, the physique good nutrition can bring in the body is something that is built over time. It's not yesterday I had a good meal, so I'm healthy. Yeah, it's like over time, months and years of eating healthy, right? Yeah. I mean, I need to get that myself.
I mean, it's definitely discipline. There's definitely discipline with it. I mean, it's rest assured, once you go through because we've all been programmed, obviously, we get sold crap, we advertise rubbish, and no one ever has really nutrition. I think now nutrition's more focused on, it's more of a big thing because of COVID. Out of the COVID, people obviously want to take better care of themselves. So now that's why you get the Eddie Aboos and other people online that are pitching all these different types of ways of eating and dieting or whatever it might be. And depending on the person, most of those diets sort of kind of work, you know what I mean? But moving from a bad diet to a healthy diet, that's the transition where it's painful, because our taste buds are screwed. When you start eating more cleaner food, so your body will love you for it. You will feel better. You'll feel more energized. You'll feel more clearer. There won't be brain fog. Do you know what I mean? It does take time. But once you're through the process of from moving from a bad diet to a better diet, that's the bit. That's where we see most of the people. They'll be on, they'll do it for a week, do it for 2 weeks, or some will do it for a month, several months. You'll get the gauge of the person if they're going to stick with it or not.
I think like a lot of fighters, obviously not the champions, like, I mean, a lot of fighters would see, for example, you know, an Alicia on a meal prep and be like, wow, when I'm a world champion, I want that. I mean, rightly deserved, you know, but like, obviously they can't afford that, or, you know, now. What would you kind of recommend, for example, like, you know, if you're like an 18-year-old kid that's come out here, obviously on a budget, most kids eat at the Thai shops, right? Like chicken and rice. And are there like healthier, cheap decisions that you can make in Thailand, or is it like all or nothing really?
I mean, well, yeah, there is. It depends if people are cooking themselves or not. If they're
on
not,
the road,
I mean, if they're on the road, then yeah, we're at the mercy of what's available. And not only that, I mean, are people going to tell you what, you know, if their foods, they say it's healthy, but they're going to tell you that it's not. So you have to take their word for it. If I was sent back all those years to be 18 again, what would I do differently? I mean, do you know what? It's clean. It's clean food. It's going to be eating, you know, your chicken fillets, you know, steak, you know, not having any fancy sauces with it. You know, keeping the vegetables to a limit. Keeping the vegetables nice and clean.
You gave me a flashback of my first visit to Thailand. Maybe I was like 21 or 22. But we went to Koh Samui, and there's a place there called Mama Schnitzel. Don't know if you know it. But bro, I had like 6 of those a day. Chicken schnitzels.
Moderation, Jim. It's moderation. That's the problem.
They were like 50 baht. That's amazing.
So thing is, food is cheap here, isn't it? I mean, compared to obviously where we're from, it's cheap. But I mean, I don't know, because the reason why our food's a bit more expensive than if you know, going into the fast produce options, say in 7-Eleven or wherever it might be, is because we source it well and everything else, but it's meticulously weighed. You know, we weigh everything.
Oh, wow.
It has to be, because if we haven't, not to this day, touch wood, if that is wood or not, I don't know, had anyone that's not cut weight. We've not had one person that's worked with us that's not cut weight. We haven't had anyone that's supposed to be cut weight and putting on weight. So that's a good sign, because it works.
Well, you haven't worked with me yet.
Yeah, well, but do you know what, Jim? The thing is that I'm that confident. If somebody wants to drop weight and they're prepared to make some lifestyle changes and understand what we do, there's a takeaway from working with us as well, because when you see what you're eating, your brain's going to start understanding and remembering and all that, and then that's going to change your attitude towards food. Doesn't mean you can't go and have a fried chicken every now and then. Doesn't mean you can't go and have a beer. Do you know what I mean? It's like you need some happiness in life. I mean, some people can just cut everything out and they're happy. Brilliant. I'm happy for them, but I like to have a beer every now and then. And you know, it's kind of, you have to be realistic as well with it.
Like last Saturday, when we spoke, I was telling you I was tracking my kind of that My Fitness thing.
Yeah.
And I had a few beers, and I started, as I was ordering them, I was like opening the app. I lost count of 5 pints.
Yeah. So I've got 500 calories there. If I could have another one.
Yeah, that's brilliant. But awesome, man. Well, thank you so much for coming on and like sharing, you know, what Fitgeeks has done. You've been there, you know, I've seen you around since I came 5 years ago. You know, it's you know, 2 businesses that have been growing on the island. I see you doing some expansion plans coming down the road. We will quickly just tell us a little bit about what's happening. Please.
So we've got, so we're currently based on the Sayuan in Rawai. We've outgrown that shop. we had a larger shop, but we shrunk that down to a smaller location, which is next door, because we plan to move. We're in the process of building our new 250 square meter restaurant kitchen facility. It's going to be much bigger. We've got some other stuff in the pipeline. The reason for that was because we've done lots of work with the fitness retreats, so they're turning up with 10, 15, 20 plus people at once, and we do the fitness nutrition seminars as well. We do a lot of those on the island. They're a bit quiet at the moment, but we're going to be doing more of those, but we're doing them at our own location as well. Great sales funnel for meal planning.
Cult was a new gym that in Naihan, right?
Yep.
And there's one called Motoshina or something. Or?
You've got Motras. Yeah, Motras. Yeah, Motras. The CrossFit.
They're building next door,
right next door to Colt. So I learnt this from the fitness retreats that we were working with. So the soy is so busy. This is such a popular road street for training, and it's there's camps and training places everywhere down this road. And it's hard to build any new here because it's quite oversubscribed already. So what somebody was telling me was that there's a big community of the fitness moving now down to Rawai. You've got Stay Fit, a nice big sort of fitness orientated hotel. Yes, you've got Colt, which is a fantastic facility, and Motras. Motras, is that what it's called? I think I've got their name wrong. We should probably look it up. But that looks like another really interesting setup there as well.
The classic Rawai gym, like just as a sweatbox weights gym.
Rawai gym, FX,
Action Point, FX.
Yeah, FX, Naihan.
Yeah,
Naihan. You've got Action Point's another good one. But I mean, you've got that new one, Adrenaline, which is I think the one up on the main Visit Road there, opposite Shell Garage.
It's popping.
And
that's without the martial arts gyms.
Yeah, I mean...
Southside, Simbi.
Yeah. Powerhouse. I mean, you've got AKA not far from all of those as well.
Yeah.
Phuket Muay Thai.
Even on this road here, there's a pirate camp starting, which is another kind of fitness thing they're building. They're building something behind 7-Eleven, the new 7-Eleven. Have you seen that? Opposite the Fairtex shop.
Oh, really?
That huge one next to Apollo.
7-Elevens.
But behind it, they're going to build another gym.
There's probably going to be a Tops not far from here as well.
It's got to be. Awesome, man. Well, thanks so much for coming on and sharing your wisdom. And
thanks,
all
Jim.
the best. And look forward to doing some...
Thank you, sir.
Look forward to trying some food.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
No problem. Thank you very much.
Fitgeeks, OGs of the soy. Let's go.